Thank you so much for completing 2 feedback evaluations in week 4 and 5. You were able to do the survey where it says, "Tell us what you think," and also your weekly feedback. So we will address both of those in this same video. Unfortunately, about 12 of you participated in both of those surveys. So we're not getting the participation that we had hoped to help us understand where we can make some positive changes. That being said, a good colleague of mine, who many of you may know in the program, Kim Kenny Rockwell, tells us that feedback is a gift. So again, we thank you very much for giving us that gift. If we look at the weekly feedback and the survey together, the majority of you have told us that the pace for the class is going just right. So on the Tell Us What You Think survey, we asked you, are we going too fast or just right? The majority of the folks that answered told us we were going just right. However, on the weekly feedback, there was some contradictions. Now, I know that this week was a little unusual, or I should say last week, because of the storm. So many of you definitely had some things that you needed to take care of that were a little atypical. So that being said, let's look at this and see a little bit more. Many of you would like more classroom time that looks like this, which is how we all learned when we were undergraduate students, which is a traditional lecture type format. That being said, we have made a very conscious decision to try to get away from that because there's a lot of evidence that supports that people learn best when they're doing. So the reason that we have the quizzes being done prior to coming to class is to make sure that you've been able to really work with the content on your own before we use our class time together. So I know that you do like some lecture pieces. We will try to keep a few lecture pieces in there, but the majority of the class for our purpose is going to be much more like this. When we get together, we're going to be crazy and chaotic and really do some hands-on work because we've seen research that supports that's when learning happens. Other things that I think look a little different based on your survey feedback is there was a couple comments about getting your grade assignments quicker. Again, I apologize if the expectation wasn't set in the beginning of our class. We will do our best to get you your feedback a week after it was finished. So a week after you've passed it in, our goal is to turn it around and get it corrected. Amy has been doing a fabulous job keeping up to date with the forum posts and the weekly activity points. So we have 1 week to turn that around, just as you have 1 week to get it done. Also, there was a couple notes about there's a really large learning curve with the technology between Dropbox and Moodle and the iPads, and we can appreciate that. So if there's anything that we can do, please let us know. You could also reach out to our part-time technologist, Kim Phillips, and she can help you with any of those concerns as well. Time is always an issue. It's hard to balance all the demands of this class and potentially another class and your job and your family. We understand that. We hopefully again have set the expectation that this requires quite a bit of effort. We take this very seriously, and we hope that your return on that investment of time and effort pays off. And some of you are starting to notice that because you've told us that you can actually use this in your jobs right away. So we understand that time is never enough, but we think you should be working about 10 hours outside of class to get this completed. You can feel overwhelmed at times. Again, we understand that and sympathize. It's definitely a lot of effort to get this to come together. Teamwork is a major concern for many of us, and I thought that we would leave you with this quote and let you know that we are addressing this situation, how we all have busy lives and we still need to work together as a group. So This week we will be making a change, and your feedback survey we will no longer have as an anonymous survey. You will be required to sign in, and it will record who's posted the weekly feedback and who hasn't, and only those people who post will get credit. But I thought we'd leave you with some quotes as far as time goes. Thomas Edison failed 10,000 times before he successfully made the light turn on. He said that genius is 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration. Hard work is what it takes, and hopefully the return on your investment will be there. Peter Drucker told us that teamwork is neither good nor desirable. It's a fact. Wherever people work together or play together, they do it as a team. So this is a fact of life. This is 100% threaded throughout the MBA program. So we need to see how we can overcome some of those obstacles. Ken Blanchard, who wrote many management books, tells us that this is, none of us are as smart as all of us. And Henry Ford, who is one of the great changers of the industrial time period, we see that he said, coming together is a beginning, keeping together is progress, working together is success. And Ford certainly had some success back when he was, again, in the industrial change moving forward. So that's the feedback that we got from both the weekly feedback as well as the Tell Us What You Think survey. Thank you very much for participating, and hopefully you'll see that we've made some of those changes.